Before there was a country called Uganda, there were kingdoms, there were clans, there were warriors, traders, kings, prophets, cattle keepers, farmers, and communities spread across lakes, forests, hills, and savannas. No one woke up and said, "This is Uganda." Because Uganda was not born naturally. Uganda was built, piece by piece, through power, through religion, through trade, through war, and through decisions made by people who did not always understand the land they were dividing. This is the untold story of how Uganda was created. Long before the British arrived, this land was not empty. Around Lake Victoria, kingdoms were rising. Buganda grew powerful in the central region. Bunyoro-Kitara was one of the oldest and most influential kingdoms in the west. Toro, Ankole, Busoga, Acholi, Lango, Teso, Karamoja, and many other societies had their own systems, leaders, customs, and ways of life. There was no single Uganda. There were many peoples, many identities, many centers of power. Some communities were ruled by kings. Others were organized under clans, elders, chiefs, or warrior systems. And for centuries, these societies traded, fought, married, migrated, and influenced each other. But then, the outside world began to arrive. Before European rule, Arab and Swahili traders moved inland from the East African coast. They brought cloth, guns, religion, new trade routes, and new forms of power. In Buganda, Islam gained influence. Later, Christian missionaries arrived. First the Protestants, then the Catholics. And suddenly, religion was no longer just about belief. It became politics. The palace became divided. Chiefs took sides. Young pages converted. Kings had to balance foreign ideas with local power. Buganda was changing fast. And the British were watching. To understand how Uganda was created, you must understand one thing. Buganda was the doorway. When the British looked inland, they did not find one united country. They found many societies. But Buganda stood out. It had a king, a parliament-like council called the Lukiko, a strong army, a central administration, roads, chiefs, and influence around Lake Victoria. To the British, Buganda looked like the perfect base. If they could control Buganda, they could control the region. And this is where the story takes a sharp turn, because the name Uganda itself comes from Buganda. Foreigners used Uganda to refer to the kingdom of Buganda. But over time, that name would be stretched far beyond Buganda's borders. A kingdom's name became the name of a country. In 1894, Britain declared the Uganda Protectorate. But this was not Uganda as we know it today. It was the beginning of a colonial project. Borders were not yet fully settled. Authority was not yet fully established. And many communities had not agreed to be ruled by Britain. The British did not create Uganda in one day. They expanded it. They negotiated. They used alliances. They fought resistance. They rewarded some leaders. They weakened others. And slowly, many different societies were pulled into one colonial structure. This is one of the most important things many people miss. Uganda was not created because all its people came together and chose one nation. Uganda was created because colonial power joined different peoples under one administration. In 1900, the British signed the Buganda Agreement. This agreement changed everything. It recognized the Kabaka, but under British authority. It gave formal power to Buganda's chiefs and council. It introduced land divisions. It helped define Buganda's place inside the protectorate, but it also created a political imbalance. Buganda became deeply tied to the colonial system. Some Buganda chiefs gained power. Land became reorganized, and Buganda's role inside the wider protectorate became stronger than many other regions. For some, this agreement created order. For others, it created inequality. Because while Buganda negotiated, other regions were often brought under colonial rule in harsher ways. Not everyone accepted British rule. Bunyoro, under Omukama Kabalega, resisted strongly. Kabalega understood what was happening. This was not just trade. This was not just religion. This was power. Bunyoro had once been one of the greatest kingdoms in the region, but colonial expansion, war, and alliances against it weakened its position. The British, supported by rival forces, fought Bunyoro. Kabalega became a symbol of resistance, and when Bunyoro was defeated, the balance of power changed. Some lands were taken, some kingdoms were weakened, others were favored. The future Uganda was being shaped not just by geography, but by victory and defeat. As the protectorate expanded, more regions were added: the north, the east, the west, the central region. Different peoples with different languages and histories were placed under one colonial government: Acholi, Langi, Baganda, Banyoro, Baturo, Basoga, Iteso, Banyankole, Bakiga, Karimojong, and many others. But being placed inside the same border did not automatically make everyone one nation. That would take decades. A country can be drawn on a map quickly, but a nation takes time. Schools, roads, taxes, courts, churches, armies, and government offices slowly connected people who had once lived under different systems. That is how colonial Uganda began to feel like one place. Not because it had always been one, but because administration forced it to become one. The name Uganda stayed, but the meaning changed. At first, it was closely connected to Buganda. Later, it became the name of the entire protectorate. Then, eventually, the independent country. This is why Uganda's creation story is complicated. It carries the legacy of kingdoms, the influence of Buganda, the resistance of Bunyoro, the arrival of foreign religions, the impact of colonial rule, and the struggle of many peoples to exist inside one political border. Uganda is not one simple story. It is many stories forced into one map. So when you look at Uganda today, do not just see borders. See the kingdoms that came before. See the chiefs who signed agreements. See the kings who resisted. See the communities that were joined together. See the name of one kingdom becoming the name of a nation. Uganda was not simply discovered. It was not simply founded. It was created through power, resistance, negotiation, and survival. And that is only the beginning of the story. Because after Uganda was created, the next question became even harder. Who would control it? Like and subscribe for more of Uganda's stories.